and we'll be using the homepage view as a content for our page layout. So page layout will get a header, content loaded by us, and a footer. To display the page layout, first we have to load it. So layouts / page, and we need to pass in some variables as a content. So we're going to vars data display. There we go. And now we have to set the variable content in the data array. Let's create it here, and it will contain a view, load homepage, and get view. Get back to our browser, refresh. All layouts page PHP not found. Page TPL, something is wrong here. Layouts. There we go, refresh, and we have it displayed. Another interesting thing in Vibius is the URL helper. We can go ahead and create a new instance of the URL helper, core URL. If you want to get the base URL of our web page, we can, for example, register a new variable for our views with the name URL, and it will hold the value of our base root or application, which is done using the URL instance here and the method of to. And we can try to display the URL variable in some of our views. We are loading the homepage view on the base root, so we can try to display instead of the translation, we can display the URL. Getting back to our browser, refreshing. There we go. Localhost Vibius, because we have localhost Vibius as the base URL, and we will be using the URL helper hand in hand with our assets bootstrapper. And first we need to create a new instance of the assets bootstrapper, which is located in the Vibius plugins namespace. And what this bootstrapper does, it enables us to group our assets, all the CSS or the JavaScript files that we need, and it enables us to declare what of these files do we need in our templates. And to do so, we need to create a new root. Not a root, we need to create a new rule, which will be an assets key here. Doesn't have to use the language class. It will be just pushing some data into an array stored in the session. Assets, and we'll push in the p variable, and there we go. Also, we cannot forget to reset our assets when going to our home root. There we go. Okay, so what we have to do now, we have to register a new asset file using the custom rule we have created here. Let's go to our homepage view because we are loading it here, and let's register a new asset. We have an asset here, yeah. And we'll be using file from public assets CSS, the homepage CSS. So we have to type in assets CSS homepage, and that's basically it. Also CSS like this. And we also need a way to link our style sheet and to display them. So we have to create a new root, which will be for CSS. It will be doing function, and this will be using an instance of the bootstrapper. And what we have to do now, we have to create a new collection of files. At collection main, and it will be using the session array where we have our aces loaded. And the next step is to bootstrapper to get to get our CSS files displayed. So we have to use the method of get style sheet of the main collection. Next step is to link our HTML, to link the CSS dependencies to our HTML file, and we will do that in the header template using the link style sheet, and we will link it using the URL, the base URL we have declared before, and it's /CSS. Going back to our browser, refresh, there we go. We got a red background from the homepage CSS because we have declared the CSS dependency here in the top of the homepage CSS. And that basically means that the homepage tpl.php file requires the homepage CSS to be loaded to get displayed properly. We can try removing it from here, and going back to our browser, refresh, we get a blank page, right? We can also get it back in, save, and we can create a new file, for example style.css, which will be adding some style to our paragraphs. Just color green or blue and we can link this style CSS file, for example, in one of our layouts. So layout/page, going back to layouts page, and we will declare that this template or this layout requires the style CSS file to be loaded to get displayed properly. CSS style CSS. Get back to our browser. There we go. Our paragraphs are now blue. And that's basically how it works with the Acids bootstrapping. We can use the same technique to display the JavaScript files, but instead of using the getStyleSheet method, we have to create a new root, which will be a JavaScript here, JS, and we can also use the main collection, but we will be using the get JavaScript of the main of the main collection. We can check it in our plugin to make sure that we are using it right. Aces bootstrapper, get style sheets, right, get JavaScript. Okay, everything is fine. We'll be using the get JavaScript method, and we have our JavaScript files located in the public assets.js, and we can create file test.js that will just alert hello from assets bootstrapper. There we go, and we have our JavaScript root here. We have the main collection, which is created using the session variable, and we can register our test JavaScript file, for example, in the homepage TPL. Let's create a new dependency here using the assets/js/test.js, and we also have to, not in the header but in the footer, we have to display our JavaScript using the script tag URL JS, add some quotes here, There we go. Refresh the page and we get the hello from Aces Bootstrapper, and we can check the source, view page source, and as we can see we get our we get our CSS file linked here, and we also get our JavaScript files linked here. Alert from the Bootstrapper, CSS, body HTML background red, and another file, the style CSS, and the homepage CSS file. Okay, so that's everything you need to know about bootstrapping with assets, displaying views, using layouts, and using the language class, and other interesting stuff that you may need while developing using the Vibius framework. See you in the next episode.